All right, so we are live. Brenda, do you want to start off today?
Yeah, I can start. First, I want to talk about my past employer and the negative experiences or the negative environment that I was involved in. Was very there was not a lot of entertainment going on. Employees weren't engaging with one another. It was just everyone came to work and just was always in a bad mood. Every day started out with, these are your tasks for the day. It wasn't like, good morning, let's all like get a cup of coffee in the break room. It was just like, here's your task, get to it, get done. So, over time, you just get kind of like, bummed out about going to work, and there's no positive reinforcement. There's no company parties. There's nothing, rewarding for employees doing a good job. And I felt everyone was hardworking. So that's why I'm also looking for a new employment right now, actually. But what I really liked about the Zappo videos this week was they all talked about their core values within the organization, and they formed their own little culture, and they took that from the organization and put it out into the world. And I really, really loved the CEO Tony's idea of taking what was personally like his personal values and making that his company surrounding that. And then the work-life balance thing isn't necessary because he says they're like one and the same basically. So everyone was inspired to go to work too. Also, if they're chit-chatting on office hours, he also mentioned, but there's times that people are driving in the car or at home and they're thinking about work. He goes, that stuff happens off the clock. So I feel like if you do make work feel like it's part of your life, it's just one life, it's not work and life. I don't know, it carries with you and it makes you a good person and it makes you a better employee. And they focus, kind of like with Southwest Airlines, what was talked about in the book, they focus on the employees first, and then the customer service comes after that fact, because then the employees are, treating the customers as they're being treated. So I really liked the lesson this week, and I don't know what else, if anybody wants to add.
I totally agree. I watched over the Zappos video, and I felt the same way. I really liked how he said that the personal lives are really integrated with the business itself. And I know that you mentioned like Amazon is another company that we have heard has great integration with the work family balance.
And Google does that as well.
Both of those, they have really good ways of kind of integrating. I know a lot of places even like they let you like bring your dogs to work and your kids to work and kind of just like encourage you to enjoy your job. And I think that that's so important to actually enjoy going to work, because we have to do it every day. Most of us,
your employees a lot more than you're with your families. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they kind of become like your second families, and that's kind of like your second home. I know for me, I've worked at Starbucks for a little while, and we have a really good environment there. And I know we love to treat our customers exceptionally, and I think we do a great job of that, of kind of inviting our customers to join into our culture and community within our organization. But even just the partners and the relationships that we get to build with each other is really, it's amazing, because I've actually made some, great friends and just from my partners that I've worked with over the years. So I really love how Starbucks does that. But there's definitely lots of organizations that really balance that culture really well.
So you would then obviously agree that leaders, can definitely shape cultures.
Absolutely.
I know that's part of our problem, but yes, I definitely feel that leaders, if they're good at what they do, they can totally shape a culture within an organization.
Yeah, because the leaders, they set that standard for what the culture is within their organization, and they really have that power of saying, this is what we believe in, this is what we're going to do, we're going to treat each other well and treat our customers well, and that becomes that culture, and it really defines the company. So yeah. What about Madison? What are your thoughts?
So I might not have the most popular opinion when it comes to organizational culture, because I've had 2 internships. One where it's a pretty typical like corporate headquarters where it might sound boring and everything, but then I also had an internship at an ad agency where it's all about, a flat structure of no like managers, and you can bring your dogs and all that stuff. But as much as that sounded good, sometimes that can sound really fun. I personally didn't actually really like it all that much. I'm actually more of a person who likes more of that corporate kind of structure. I like actually having a manager, and then I like having some sort of structure where then eventually in the future I can probably have followers. I mean, I was the intern, so eventually I would like to be a manager of other people rather than the flat structure. So
what about a happy medium? Or you think you're more corporate, not a happy medium?
I'm very corporate, for sure. I like that, and I don't think there's anything really wrong with that, because I think that's important. It is just kind of funny to me because I understand that it can sound, you know, really fun to have those things. However, I don't know, like, I love dogs, and that was cool, but
it's distracting, probably, and chaotic. And
well, yes, there was barking. You know, the employees, it sounds good in theory to bring your dog, but they were very distracted a lot. And at an ad agency, you have to log your time. So you can't just say, oh, I was playing with my dog. Like, you have to put in your time. So it takes away like hours, you know, of your time. And you're like, wait, I was here for 8 hours, but you can only log in 6 because you were messing with your dog 2 hours of your day. So that can be super distracting. And yeah, so I definitely agree. Leaders can shape a culture. I think having a good culture, the thing about my corporate internship is that I liked how still, though, even though it sounds maybe kind of black and white and boring, I loved it because I like helping other people. I still worked with people that have very positive attitudes, and that's what I think is important. Rather than the agency where it might have dogs and everything, the people, I would walk in, I could go the whole day without even saying a word, kind of a thing. So it really does depend on the people rather than the overall culture. It's kind of, they both have to play together. So those are my
sometimes you want to know what to expect too. If you're always walking in every day and it's pretty much, you know, chaotic and out of control, it'd be a little hard to stay focused at work, for sure.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something that I learned. We had Greg Fox. He was one of our vice presidents for quite a long time. He brought in Behavioral Science and Technologies, which is a group to help set up programs that we were doing. At the time, it was safety programs. But something they brought on board to our company was the statement that leaders create the culture, culture shapes behavior, and behavior determines performance. So with that said, if you could almost apply that to most things in most organizations, that leaders do create a culture. If you got a culture where somebody's not performing, and one way or another, we've either allowed that to happen or shaped that culture. And then the culture that we create shapes or determines our performance. How are we going to perform? So I thought that was really good. It's something that it's really stuck with me, and something that I still use to this day. And it wasn't that long ago that they were with us. So yeah, leaders do create the culture. There's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Savana, what about you?
We can't hear you.
Maybe touch your screen and see if it shows muted.
Oh yeah, because that's what happened last time. Does Jordan want to go?
Yeah, Jordan, why don't you go?
Jordan? We can't hear you either.
Oh no! We can't start this one over because let's start this one from the beginning. If only we could, like, he could be typing and at least pop up on the screen. You don't even know what he's trying to say.
Type in your comments in like the chat, but otherwise we can keep discussing while they're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just like
Savana there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, Savana.
Okay.
Yeah.
One sec. Let me put my headphones back in.
Okay, we
got
can hear.
Savana now. There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So I have pretty similar experiences to all of you, specifically Brenda and Madison. Sorry, I'm kind of sick, so my voice is like going. But I worked in a job and it was a very negative environment. It wasn't very structured, and I found that hard to work in because everyone kind of just did whatever they wanted, and you would end up having people like not showing up, and it would just cause problems, and just it wasn't organized, and we never like focused our work on values or anything, so there wasn't much of a culture there. There wasn't much. Everyone just kind of floated around, and there was just no base. And then I moved to a new job, and it's completely values-based, and it's all about making the employees happy, everyone you're working with happy, being a team, working together, and making the customers happy at the same time. And it's just a really positive environment. The managers really work with you to make sure you are doing okay and that you have what you need to succeed. And I really have seen that, like my managers we've also had the owners of the restaurant come in and they speak to us, and having those values built up and set in stone for the company, I think allows for a more positive work environment. So everyone kind of has that common ground, common understanding. That's my experience.
Awesome. Jordan, can we hear you yet? Jordan?
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jordan, we can't hear you.
Maybe what we could do is post the link, and he can at least reply to it and write what his thoughts were.
Yeah.
So at least Dr. Michaels can see what his point of view was and his perspective.
Yeah. Have we hit 12 minutes?
Jordan, can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear that. Wait. There he goes.
There you are. Did we hit 12 minutes?
We're at 12 minutes, but if we can hear Jordan, we can go up to 15. So, Jordan, can we hear you?
We can't hear you.
No, we had him for a second.
We can hear you. Your connection's bad.
I liked Brenda's idea. Why don't I go ahead? I'll post the link.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, there we go. Share your thoughts. We have a couple minutes left. We can hear you.
I think he's not.
Yeah, I think he's talking. We just can't see his mouth.
Kind of like the last few times, it was kind of sporadic.
Jordan, can you hear us? Put a thumbs up.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and we'll stop the broadcast. I'll post the link, and then Jordan will have you just comment your thoughts like Brenda said. I think that should be fine for the professor should probably understand.
Yeah.
Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, awesome. Great discussion. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.